Hello everybody, welcome back to another video, and in particular welcome back to another local update. We did the big one not so long ago. This is quite a fast, a short amount of time to have another one, but hey ho, things happen, don't they? Right now, in the last Matthews model, in the last Wagon Works, I was talking to you about the modern kind of modern image rolling stock that I'd been working with, and I did drop in a bit of a hint that there was a reason for this, and it was due to a couple of locos that have appeared down on Common Barnyard. Very against the grain for what I normally go for, but one of them, it didn't fall into my possession, but it was from a friend, and I clapped eyes on it, and it was just, well, I really liked it, and we did a bit of a deal and I ended up with it. And the second one, it is just one that I've always admired, and I've been around this particular loco a lot lately, and yeah, I just had to make tracks in getting hold of one. But first things first, we'll get this first culprit interview. Now I haven't actually got the power on, but this one is in the track, so we'll just give it a gentle nudge into shot. And here we have a very lovely, I think so, Class 86. Look at that, electric pantograph. Ooh, this is very much a new thing for me and my layouts. Right, so the story behind this one, mate of mine, always been into modelling, not particularly just trains, everything. He's a real big plane modeller actually, and gliders. But lately his interest in trains and stuff like that has kind of been creeping back in, and we've spent a lot of time getting him a layout set up and going around model shops and whatnot, and he's really back into the swing of it. And he came across a bundle of old locos for sale on Facebook, and they were a good set. It were a good 20 to 30 locos, old stuff, but there was some pretty decent stuff in there as well. And he ended up buying it all for a very reasonable price, and this was one of the locos that was in the bundle. Now I must admit, when he showed me he sent me all the pictures of what was on offer and description of everything, and I knew that were in there, and it didn't particularly pique any interest. But when it turned up, I went round to his house and we were checking out this bundle of stuff, and I don't know, when I saw it in the flesh I thought, yeah, flippin' heck, it's quite nice, that, actually. And it's in really great condition, and the bodywork's got some minor blemishes and scuffs and stuff, but overall it's blooming good. There's no damage to it. That's a working pantograph on the top. If you just give it a little, oh, hang on a minute, see, look, there we go. That does actually take current. There's a little switch on the top here to decipher between track current and pantograph current. It's just brilliant, really nice. Now, as I said, modern image, electric, very modern livery as well for me. Actually, this is the Res livery, Rail Express Service livery, and it is actually named Post Haste. So originally a parcels loco, but believe you me, I've done a hell of a lot of research into this to try and warrant my ownership and running it on the layout, and I found a hell of a lot of images of this pulling passenger stock, doing some very unusual coach in stock moves, and a couple of freight moves. So obviously, in days where they've been desperate for a loco for one thing or another, they've drafted in post haste to shift some freight around. So that kind of backed up my reasoning for owning it and running it on the layout. The fact that I can run some passengers with it, run a bit of freight behind it and get away with it. And the rest is history, as they say. It turned up, loved it, and I've loved it ever since. It's been going around with some of my more modernish coaching stock, you know, some intercity and network southeast coaches and things like that. And yeah, it looks mighty fine. So I am going to give it a weathering, like I mentioned with those tankers and hoppers. I do want to give it a modern image weathering. So once I'm up and running with the airbrush, that's the plan of attack for it. But for now, it's staying in its nice condition, and it's going to keep pulling these coaches around my layout. So that's the first one to show you. Now what I'll do is I'll pause the camera, we'll get this out of the way, and then we'll get the next the next culprit to divert my interest. So just bear with me a second. I'm back in a mo. Okie doke, the next loco is out. It surprises me, does this one, you know, I'll be honest. Now, I've done a lot of travelling lately, up and down the good old British network, and whilst doing this I've seen quite a lot of a loco that I have a bit of a soft spot for, modern image wise. And the more I've seen it, the more I've kind of fallen in love with it, and I like this loco probably for a reason that the majority of other people will hate. I'm just going to have to show you. So if I just lower it down, there's the pantograph, and there we have a Class 91. Why oh why, Matthew? Yeah, Class 91s. Now it's facing this way for the reason I just mentioned, and the reason is I absolutely love the blunt end of a Class 91. It's just, I don't know what it is, but I absolutely love it. If they'd have made a mainline diesel like this, you know, like this at each cab end, it'd look beautiful. I really do like it. Not that I don't like the nose end as well, because I do, I really do. But overall, yeah, I just love it. It's a smashing looking loco. And like I said, I've seen a lot of these lately. I've been travelling all over the shop. I've been to Leeds, Birmingham, Reading, York, so I've done a lot of travelling on the network lately, and these are all over the shop. And it just made me want one even more. It really did. And I've got one. Now this loco and this purchase hasn't been without its problems, and I'm showing you this now, but there's a very good chance that this particular one may leave my possession, for one thing and another, with the place I bought it from. I've had issues with the body that turned up wasn't as described, or I didn't think it was. So this is actually an absolute mint replacement body that the company sent, but there's issues with, there's quite a noticeable body lean which won't pick up on camera, but I can see it. And it's causing, or I think it's causing, a bit of a squeak when it's running around corners, so this one could be just more trouble than it's worth. But never fear, if this one does go, I'm quite sure a replacement one will turn up, especially with what's planned with the layout now. But yeah, there we go. This is the second modern image purchase, and it's brilliant. And I mean, I will be running it blunt end as well. I have done a hell of a lot of research into Class 91's travelling blunt end first, just so I had reason to run it that way, and it happens a hell of a lot. You search it on YouTube, Google it. These things do travel blunt end first a lot more than you may think. Whether it's because it's broken down, it's being dragged, whether it's because it's just had to turn that way for some reason, but they do run blunt end first, and this is how mine will run. So yeah, like I say, whether this one stays this particular model or not, I'm not entirely sure, but a 91 of some sort will have a presence on Common Barn. So there it is from the other end. which I think you can probably see that body lean there a little bit. So we'll see. But yeah, so I promise you that's the last electric to show you. We'll get back to some usual stuff now. So, but yeah, let me know what you think about running a Class 91 blunt end first. So now, put that away, we'll get the next little thing out. Right, now, enough of all that modern electrical gubbins. We'll get back to some good old, old school heritage type stuff. Right, so two things to show you now, which are, well, similar. Pretty much identical, actually, but very different. Now, one is, well, I'll tell you what, I'll just show you. One is this. Ta-da! This is a pug, and this is one of the Dapol kit-built pugs. Now, I got kind of an odd little bundle not so long ago. It had some couple of old locos in, and a couple of scenic items, a couple of wagons and things like that. And in there was a pre-built kit of Dapol's good old pug, and it was quite tidy. It wasn't bad. It just needed something a little extra. So this is how I picked it up. This is the the livery that I got it in. The only thing I've added to the livery is the number on the side, which is just a chalked on number 2. Gave it the number 2 purely because I already have one of these, one that I built myself in maroon. So this is the second pug. So it got a number 2. All I did to it was I just touched up areas here and there, giving it a good dose of weathering. It wasn't too bad, to be fair. It just needed a little bit extra. But that's been sat quite nice in the siding at the back of the yard, and it's a welcome little addition. So that's 2 static pugs we have now. But if I get rid of this one and bring in something very similar, we also have this, a proper pug, a proper working motorised pug. Now, I am absolutely thrilled to finally get my hands on one of these. I kind of have a bit of a need to not collect, but just to own pretty much any small type loco, well, ever that's been built, And the older Hornby stuff, I'm kind of doing all right with. Steady away, I've got pretty much got it all for the older stuff now. But one thing that's always eluded me has been a pug. Now, I have always set my sights on the lined L&Y pug, and if I'm honest, my sights are still on it, and I would like to have one. But for the time being, my little pug void has been filled with this LMS version. It's a bit of an odd one, I must admit. It runs, and it is a very, very lovely runner when it's going in reverse. So when it's going cabin first, it's absolutely fantastic. It's brilliant. It's silky smooth, it's quiet, it's lovely. But then going forwards, it runs, but it's a tad jerky, a tad jumpy, and it's just nowhere near as lovely as it is when it's going backwards. So that is the one issue with it. I will get it sorted, whether I saw it myself or whether I let someone else give it a good strip down for me. Either way, I will get it sorted. It's not going to stay like this. I don't think I want to keep the LMS livery to it. So much so that if I just turn this round, you can already see that I have lost the LMS numbering on the side. Now that was accidental. The Loco had been given a bit of a home weathering by the previous owner. It were all right, but it was just the wrong colours he'd used for my liking. He'd given it very beigey browny washes, and it was all sat along the bottom of the running plate, along the tanks, were just a build up of this beige, this beige colour. So I had to strip that back a bit. And as I was stripping it back, unfortunately, these old decals, one had started to peel on the numbers, and I thought, blow it, So I removed the entire number, and I just put again one of my chalked numbers on there, which is the same number as the other side. It is its original running number. But I'm not sure this is how it'll stay. I am feeling more of an industrial flavour with it, but we'll see. But yeah, so as I say, it has that issue running forward. If anyone has any ideas what I can do with that, please let me know, because I have been inside it. I've given it an oil, I've given it a clean. So yeah, I don't know if anyone's got any suggestions. But yeah, finally, the little void that was no pug has now been filled. And in hindsight, it is actually 3 pugs if you include the the 2 statics as well. The new one and the one that I've built myself. So yeah, there we go. That's going to be it for this Loco update. Now there is going to be 2 other videos. One is going to be a Matthews modelling, looking at Locos I've been working on, because there's a fair few. There could be 3, 4, maybe even 5, I don't know. Locos that I've been working on, so that is going to be the next one, because I need to get that done out of the way. And then we are going to do a video which is it'll be the first one of its series, put it that way. I did show you a kit that I was going to be working on, which I have started. So yeah, there's going to be a new little video series looking at particular things. And then yeah, we'll get a layout update. So bearing in mind those 2 Locos you saw at the start of this video, can anybody guess what's going to be involved in the layout update? What might have been added? I'll leave that with you. But for now, as always, let me know what you think. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video. So bye bye.